what we're talking about here is we're going to work with the rational inequalities of this. And it's the same basic idea. Rational inequalities are going to be like those rational expressions where it was, you know, x squared minus 1 divided by x plus 3. Something like that, and it might be greater than 0. So you're going to be looking at, well, where is that graph going to be greater than 0? Well, just like we had to worry about specific values, you would get your zeros and go through all that. Here, what you're looking at is just the critical values. In order to get your test points, you're going to get your critical values. And your critical values are going to be the 0 of the denominator, where it's undefined, and any of the zeros of the numerator. That's what you're testing. Those are going to be your test points. As opposed to when it was just the polynomial inequality, where you had to factor everything to get all of your zeros. Here, your test points are going to be at both the zeros of the numerator and where the denominator is equal to 0, the vertical aspects of it. So that's all you have to worry about for your test points. It's basically making you have to find that value at the bottom. So if I'm looking at this equation here, if I was going to list my test points, well, what are the zeros of the numerator? Yeah, plus minus 1, and what makes the denominator 0? Negative 3. So I'd have to test it at 3 spots. Negative 3, negative 1, and 1. So I'd have to look at 4 different intervals. Smaller than negative 3, between negative 3, negative 1, between negative 1 and 1, and bigger than positive 1.
Oh, wait, you said look between negative 3 and negative 1 too?
What's that?
You said you have to look between negative 3 and negative 1?
Yeah. Just like we did, just like in the, to be honest, it's the exact same thing as this. When we had plus minus 3, we looked at it, or excuse me, plus minus 1 and 3, we looked at it to the left of negative 1, between negative 1 and positive 1, between 1 and 3, and then above 3. It's the same idea. You just have, when you have 3 points to look at, there's 4 values you're going to check. If you have 2 points, you'd have to check 3 different ones. So that's just how it breaks it into the number line. And that's really all there is with this, to be honest with you.
Cool.
So if you go into this here, I like the idea of using the calculator. It kind of makes it a lot easier when you're looking at your tables, instead of having to go through and pick all your stuff out. All I'd like you to be able to do is, you know how I was listing this out and putting in the numbers that I'm testing? I do the same thing. Tested at, I don't know, negative 5. Tested at negative 2. 0. And, I don't know, 2. That way you're able to look at what's happening with the actual values. So in your calculator, we'll do a new graph. Fraction bar. Numerator was x squared minus 1. Denominator was what, x plus 3?
Yeah.
Thanks. Whatever. It's got a slant asymptote, obviously. I just made that up off the top of my head, so don't shoot me. It's not my fault. Just go right to my, oop, wrong one.
Wait, so what just happened?
I hit the wrong button. All right, menu, table. So go back to a number that was smaller. We had our first one, what, negative 5 to look at?
Yeah, how do you get it to be that?
When you hit your options on there, it should be an option on it. Yours is full of charts. Grab this. So at negative 5, it's negative, so that was false. Yes, ma'am. Wait, it's not working.
Oh no, no. You don't want
It's all right. Now, when I was in Switzerland, they called it a crevasse.
Well, like
That's it. That's all it is.
People say aluminium.
Right. It's yeah, you're right. It's aluminium. It's how it's just. It's how a lot of this, like in Europe, they don't say math. They say maths. In England, it's maths. It's just different dialect. That's all it is. Crevasse. They say crevasse.
Is there a British person?
That's what they call it. Crevasse. No. Maths. Aluminium.
I've never heard of that ever.
Anyway, so we go back to this, and you're able to see through those test points via the table. It's a lot faster to look at. Guys, come on. The next one was at -2, that was positive. I believe it was negative again at 0. Negative at 0 again. And I believe it was positive again when you got back up above 2.
Are you going to let us use our calculator?
Mr. Fontana and I were talking about that, and it looks like it will be calculator okay as far as your tests are concerned. So
For the whole thing.
I think so.
Whoa.
Wait.
We're almost done writing out the test, so it's should, as of right now, I think it's done. You do what? What we did? Nothing. Really, the only thing that's different is that you have a third value to look for. You look at region now, you look at zeros and That's it. That's the only thing that's different. All right, let's try another one. No, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be all calculated. I'm pretty sure. All right. So, like I said, all the critical values. Guys, all the critical values when you're dealing with the rationals are going to be the zeros of the numerator and the undefined values of the denominator. That's it. That's all you're doing. And those are going to be those test points you put on that number line, and then you just pick values above, between, and all that, and throw it in your calculator for the table. Yes, ma'am?
What if you get like
I? I don't think we've had any eyes.
Are we done with that?
Two of them. With it. Knocks him
No.
So you can text while you're driving your Jeep. There you go. The only other thing that they throw at you, there is some I don't even need to go over this, to be honest with you. I want you guys to figure this out. There's some very easy word problems that are thrown in here that it winds up being all calculator based, where you're going to be looking at where is it making a profit. If you're making a profit, are you going to be greater than 0 or less than 0?
Greater.
Okay. Do day 2 stuff. Now that homework from, you know how we mix the stuff up? So day 2 is now going to be that 37 to 44 all, 67, 69, and 75. That's basically all the other problems you have yet done. Yeah, I'll throw it there. Okay.
My computer teacher, she wouldn't care. I've been saying that a lot. It's like just like elementary school
Crevasse. Hey, I ice climbed in the glacier crevasse in Switzerland. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, we rappelled down the like into the crevasse of the glacier. Where we rappelled down the face, and it's about, I don't know, about 30, 40 foot drop. And then we just are we long enough to the toe pigs and all that kind of stuff? It was awesome. Well, you're being was it delayed or?
No,
How they hold you like away. I don't know. Ice climbing. Switzerland.
There's 3 words.
This is
I
awesome.
think I would do that. Should I ask Siri if you know like what kind of
Yeah.
Well, no, 'cause she's